Hi, Recovery Girls. I'm Lynn. Thank you for joining me today. I want to talk a little bit about step 4 and then step 5 today. Step 4 is we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. So we put down on paper our liabilities, our character defects, and there's a freedom in that, and it is not real fun. It's probably one of the hardest, or at least it was for me, one of the hardest steps in recovery. So I'm not going to go into great detail on exactly how to do a fourth step. There are so many resources online there are worksheets, there are certain inventories like fear inventories, specifics about step 4. But in a nutshell, it is making a fearless and searching moral inventory. So we're looking at all of our character defects. We're putting those down on paper. We are writing down resentments, who we're resentful at, why, what it affects, what's our part in it. And that's just it in a nutshell. So I want to tell you a little bit of something that happened to me yesterday that I had to do a little bit of a fourth step with, and then which was writing down the situation. But the next part of what comes after the fourth step is a fifth step, which is telling somebody what has happened. Because if we stay there in the resentment or the fear or wallowing in guilt over our character defects, we can go back out and lose our sobriety. So step 5 is that we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. So what happened to me yesterday was car was terribly dirty from winter salt trucks and so on. And so get in the car wash line. It's a really long line, and it was every third person was supposed to go. So line A goes, and then somebody from line B. I'm in line C, so I'm ready to go. My turn next, right? Well, so A went, B went, I'm C, getting ready to go into that line. And instead, after B, little person number A over here starts to pull in front of me. Well, I turned into a crazy woman. I absolutely went nutso. I pulled right up to this person that pulled right in front of me, and I laid on my horn. I laid on my horn like a crazy woman. So I'm honking and honking because they did me wrong. I'm like, you idiot, and saying all sorts of stuff. Now, mind you, I have 2 of my kids in the car. So what a great example that is for them, right? All because somebody cut in front of me in line. So, I'm just harboring this bitterness and resentment over something so ridiculous. So I come home, and what I have to do is write out why that bothered me. What did it affect? It affected my sense of pride, really, that I felt like I deserved to be next, and this person cut in front of me, and how dare them do me wrong. And it was just so ridiculous. So what ended up turning out to be a bigger issue is that I was so tired. I'm still grieving the loss of my dad. I don't feel the overwhelming, heart-wrenching sadness that I did right when it happened, but it's still there under the surface, and I just triggered something, being so tired and just from the emotional drain, that I went berserko and honked my horn like a crazy woman at this poor person that just maybe wasn't paying attention, thought the car next door went, it's her turn. I don't know. But anyway, I was crazy and I felt terrible. So I wrote out the fourth step about that situation. And then the most freeing part was that I admitted to God and to someone else, in my case, a couple other friends, of what a crazy person I was and what it affected and what my part in that was. And there was something so freeing, less of a burden that I had to carry around from the guilt that I felt, especially having my kids in the car and, trying to show them life lessons, and that was not a good one. But telling somebody made that guilt almost immediately, and confessing it made that guilt just lift. And so I didn't have to live and wallow in that ugly place in my heart so that I could go on with my day. I didn't just continually ream myself because I had done this stupid behavior. So I just suggest that if you have something A fourth step when you're first getting in sobriety can be pretty lengthy, and it is very important to have a sponsor or somebody. You can read about sponsors. We can talk about that in maybe another video, but it's so important to have somebody that you can share that with so you don't stay stuck. So you find freedom and confession and humility so that you don't have to have the pressure of holding it all in, which then in turn makes us go out, causes us to go out and do the things that we're trying to avoid and alleviate through recovery. So those are just a little touch on step 4 and 5. I hope you'll read more about it, and that you'll find somebody to walk in this recovery journey with you. So I pray for you to turn your life and will over the care of God, and then watch for the miracles.